Hello everyone, my name is Vlad and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you what I did with my amusement park. I totally redid it. I think it looks great and I'm going to take you to a tour of it. So why don't we get started right now. So here we are in my Lego city. We're approaching the amusement park. As you can see right there, there it is in its glory. So why don't we take a little closer look at all the details and how I made it and what I did to upgrade it. So as you know, below my amusement park there's a train station for the amusement park, and it has escalators going up towards the surface. I actually have a building that connects to it at the top in theory, so that's basically the underground part. So the amusement park starts in the Chinese town area, and I built a huge fence around perimeter and a great awesome entrance, which I'll get to in a minute. And as you can see, there's lots of minifigures now. It's a very busy day at the park, and this fence goes all the way across the perimeter. I still have yet to put the roadway in here, but I will work on that soon. I will put this area because this is where my table opens and closes. So why don't we take a little bit of a closer look at the amusement park. Here's kind of a general shot of the overall view of it and what I've done with it, and I'll go through it piece by piece. So starting on the far left corner, I have the Disney train station. It's coming out of the tunnel, which we'll get to in a little bit. And then the fenced area and the train go around. Then I have the carousel, and that is full of minifigures. As you can see, it's pretty busy in the park, just like I mentioned before. And I have a ticket booth and a queue line. And then comes the haunted house, which stands pretty tall. Not as tall as the roller coaster, but just about. And just about taller than the Ferris wheel. And that is has a queue line as well. And also has a ticket booth next to it. Then there's some entertainers, one juggler, and person who makes air balloons or animal air balloons, and they're entertaining the crowd and people are watching. I have the mixer next to that. That's one of the first amusement park rides, and that one is kind of integrated. It's a portable, so it may change over time. And then I have the Ferris wheel right there, located next to that. And next to that I have the large roller coaster, which we get to once we get to the other side as well. So as you're walking on the path here, we get to the entrance, and I want to really make a grand entrance, and I think that kind of occurred. I called it Brickman Vland. And the reason I call it that, I wanted to have Brickman in it. I was going to call it Brickman-Vlad Land, but that seems a little long. And then my good buddy at work, my right-hand man where I work, Manish, he came up with the title and said, why don't you just call it Brickman Vland? It kind of sounds interesting, so I decided, wow, why not? So it came out to Brickman Vland, and basically I have lettering I made stickers for, and I used an arc right here, one of the roller coaster rails, to arc this around. So I have a transparent roof, and I can easily take this whole thing off by sliding this along this here, and then you can see inside. I also have a railway crossing for the train, so all the minifigures are safe, and that's kind of the inside of that. And this is the top of it. I also, on the other side, have a little slogan called "See ya again," and that leads to the exit. And then I have some images of various rides and my Brickman-Vlad logo, so that's kind of the end on the other side. So we'll put that back in. It goes in very easily. It just slides amongst the tiles, just like that. And then it slides in like that, and I think it looks really cool. We'll kind of see it from a forward angle as well. Then the fence continues, And I still have a few minifigures to put out. It goes right to the end of the edge. So taking the view from a different angle of the opening, I really think that turned out really spectacular. It's different and uses some really interesting techniques. Then there's the fence, and on the fence I used some transparent elements and some profile elements, and I got little flowers all along the edge, and I think that turned out really nice. And as I mentioned, lots of minifigures on the other side. And then what I did is in the tracks, I ballasted the underneath of the tracks with gray all the way around. I also put in lots of vegetation. I really like vegetation and flowers and that, and it makes it look really nice. If you can see here, I'll pull out. Then, as I mentioned, there's the mixer, and then I have also the train exit to trains. That there's a staircase there and an elevator down to the trains. That corresponds to the elevator. It may not exactly line up, but it's pretty close. I also have, if I come around this end, I have a building kind of in a triangular format, and that is the washrooms, as you can see, his and hers washroom. Coming around here, I've pretty much kept the food court the same as the last one, and I have a breakfast kiosk, a vegetable kiosk, a juice kiosk, pizza, and a hot dog stand. And then there's some places to sit underneath this big tree here, and then a fence to keep the railway so the peps don't accidentally get on the tracks. I also did is I made a much bigger fountain, and I used a lot of elements. It's gold and white elements, and it's pretty tall. And I used a lot of square water plates and finishing tiles to simulate the water, and I think it looks really good. The real interesting thing is if you take a look at the top here, then you'll notice that the area is curved. It's like an arc. I did that with hinges, and it gave a lot more depth to it, so it looks much more like the semi-arc or semicircle. Looks much more better. And I also have lots of minifigures watching this fountain. So overall, I really like the way this fountain turned out. And then I have the dunk tank, which is ironic near the fountain, and there's a lot of interest in dunking the pretty girl. We're sitting right here on top of the dunk tank, waiting for the small kid to throw the ball. And then, of course, the Ferris wheel queue line is here. And that's where people get on the Ferris wheel. Then we come to the edge here, where we have the games of chance. And there's a target game, and one junior, one senior ring the bell. And lots of interest in that. Again, lots of peps. And then we come to, there's a walkway. So there's a walkway around the Ferris wheel. And lots of things going on with peps, lots of little stories. I really like to have little stories. There's a face painting area right here where people are getting their face painted. And then I come to is the grand roller coaster. This, of course, is my custom roller coaster. It's about almost 2.5 times the area of the original, if not more. And it has twice as much track. And I really enjoyed that, making that one many years ago. I also have the track of the train, and what I did here, I have a little built-up hill area with trees. That's actually on both sides here as well as over there, right there, and that gives it kind of a little bit of depth. I also have the fence, which is in the same style as the other fence. You can see I've curved the fence here, so it's more in line with the tracks. And I have the facelets of the cliff area, which corresponds to the underground railway. And those are also still on pieces, so I can still take those pieces out here. As you can see, I could take this piece out here. And if I take this piece out, I can actually remove the facelet area, the brick ones. I took a lot of the brick Lego, and then I come to what I call my overpass and tunnel. I've detailed that in a previous video, but basically the overpass also has a small Ferris wheel, but it's up on the edge, so it's kind of like the cliff wheel, call it. And then there's a path all the way, and an escalator going up to the path that goes in the back. This came about, the whole tunnel idea came about so I could have minifigures walk across without having to go across the tracks and get to the other side. And I also have a escalator on that side. And on this side here, I've redid again, same thing. There, I went back to my standard railing. And here I have another second food court area. It's not much has changed in that. And the Disney Castle on display, which turned out really nice. And then a staircase up. So there's kind of like 2 staircases on each side, which is kind of cool. And then an elevator too. Then I also have the roller coaster, the loop roller coaster, which goes all the way up like 1 inch from the ceiling. That was tight. And then of course I have the path that goes along to the hotel and the official hotel attached to the amusement park. And as you can see, I have a gap there because when I made these original cliff or gorge facings, I didn't take into account to align them with the breaks in the streets. So all the new ones are done like that. So I'm going to redo these. I'm going to completely update and redo the street here too. And that's going to be the whole entire thing here. I'm going to shift things around. I've already got a plan for that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the beach all the way over there. So, and I've got plans for this as well. And just to run the train around so you can see the train running around the loop. Here we go. It should be just coming out of the tunnel. Right here it comes. Comes around. And I'm running it kind of slow around the entrance and then around the food court and fountain, and then goes all the way in to the tunnel. And here's a view from the train's perspective. So here's an idea of what it looks like going through the amusement park. So here we are approaching the tunnel, and here we are going through the tunnel and coming out of the tunnel and going around to the fence area and now to the entrance. Through the trees and back to where we were started. So that gives kind of a perspective from the train's point of view. Just going back to the amusement park, this is the kind of over shot of the amusement park. So there's lots of minifigures because the amusement park should be pretty full. As you can see, it's full, and here's the area with the fountain from a kind of an aerial point of view, and the roller coaster, and in the background the cliff with the tunnel and the entrance. And I really like that entrance. It's kind of grand, and I've been using a lot of different techniques that I've learned over the years. So I expect bigger and better projects, and the whole idea is eventually is to customize every building in the city. And I'm slowly working on that. That's going to take some time, obviously, but overall everything looks good, and I really enjoy my amusement park. You can see the entrance in, and I think it looks good. So that is everything for the amusement park, and I will try to get an update sometime in the near future. Also, I'd like to basically make a shout out to Nick, who's been basically bugging me to make the next video, and I said I would look at doing it this weekend, and he basically said he'll see it when he believes it. Well, believe it, it is done. I've made it. So I will try to make more videos more often in the future about my city and everything I'm working on. But if you really like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, or leave me some comments. I really like comments. I like reading them. They're awesome. I like to get feedback, what everybody thinks of my city. And until then, have a great day.